you do is just go through a book. Michael's going to make some comments, and it's all about just insight. And it seems really super casual because it is. If you have any questions, definitely put them into the chat on Crowdcast or comment on Facebook. I'll be monitoring that as well. We'll do this for about half an hour. If you guys have anything you want to ask, we can answer it afterwards or during whatnot. Okay, so again, let's just get started. I'm just going to share the screen.
Another why we're doing this too is to show you guys and get you more experience with your eyes on good design and repeatedly looking at good design instead of repeatedly looking at poor design is a good habit to get into as well, to get it ingrained in your brain and to constantly improve, your own work over time.
And what we're seeing, with students, my students always ask me, how do you know what's good work? Like they just look at Instagram.
I was literally shown, just like I'm showing you now, what's strong and, what can be improved on or whatever. In this process, my first boss would only let me watch certain designers instead of looking at everything else. He kept me focused on like 5 designers, like Massimo Vignelli and a few others. Mm-hmm. I liked Woody Pirtle and Fred Woodward. And so to keep the standards high, but to keep studying their work, so to reverse engineer to see how they built things and see the choices they made and so on like that. And that's what Rachel wants to do here with this book here. Now this book has many, many different designers in it, but maybe we can just see if the design firms, pop up regularly or not. We'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll have to see. So let's get started. Let me just turn on the camera real quick here.
To me, this kind of stuff is what mentoring is all about in design, is when you sit down with somebody and go, well, this is good because of this reasons and these fundamentals and so on and so forth. Okay.
Right. Okay. So this book is called The Package Design Book number 2. It's a Taschen book. Nothing super special, but just one day we were going through it. And Michael sort of taught us on like why things work, why things don't work. And I thought it might be nice to share this insight with you guys.
Yeah, this system here, this isn't a sexy product, but the pattern work, these are 2 different ones actually. I was looking at these. Looks like acrylic and concrete.
Gosh, a lot of people show up.
But this one stopped me here because of the fantastic typography on the back. That's what every package should look like as far as typography, when you have to have that much legal or whatever on it. That's just really well done. Again, 2 color, simple pattern, Swiss style, if you will, just really well handled. This one over here, it caught my eye because of the pattern work, which was unusual as well. Type isn't quite as strong as this one over here, but
wait, why would you say that? They're both in black. This has black type.
This is the other thing too. This is a good thing to talk about here. Look, this mistake that I tell my design students all the time is, you got 2 color here. You have consistency and congruence, from back to front here. 2 color, bam, that's the system. You have a 2 color system here as well. Why go to black and add a 3rd color? For me, I would have used the darker or stronger version of these colors for everything else below it in order to create more continuity instead of adding black.
So you're saying that the illustration is totally separate from the type?
Yeah, they're losing harmony there. This gets a B+ for the lack of harmony. This gets an A. This one gets an A for harmony. Color, type to image, all that kind of stuff. I see this kind of stuff all the time, and it's just like, damn, almost, kind of a thing. So anyway, yeah, that's a good point to bring up. 2 color versus 3. Right. Because black is, all the text is really mad at the illustrations, and they don't want to be together, kind of thing. And that's where the harmony is broken, is through the color. If the type was the same color or purple or green or orange, boom. That's what this one does really well.
So I just have a couple questions. So if we were doing some research for packaging, what exactly what are you looking for? Are you looking for proportion? You're looking
For what package?
yeah, I mean, like when we're looking through this and we're trying to figure out packaging for, a soap you're developing or something like that. Like, are we just randomly like surfing through it, or are we looking for something specific, or what
No,
type of inspiration are we pulling from something like this?
Well, you'd want to break it down, because if you had an idea in your head that you want to use vector graphics or pattern, let's say, for the major portion of the package, and it couldn't roll over to the sides or anything. Let's just say we wanted to use some kind of geometric pattern. That's what I would look at first. So when I'm looking through books like this, I'll go and look for just that one example all the way through, like I did here, and then I'll mark it. I'm just looking for geometric pattern examples because I have this geometric pattern idea in my head, and I want to see how people handle it. Okay. Then I want to see how people handle how many colors and how those colors relate to product variation or product flavor or whatever else. So I'm just going to go through here and look at color systems all the way through. 2-color, 4-color, and so on. And in my head, I'm going, okay, if I have a 2-color system in my head, I'm going, let's look at all the 2-color systems. Boom, there's one. I'll tag that, and I'll go through all the way through, and I'll look at, here's a 1-color solution. That's not what I'm looking for. Blah, 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 blah. I'll keep going through. There's a 2-color. I'll mark that. But I separate one graphic design element in my head, and I look for that and research that first. And then once I'm done with that, I'll go, let's just see how they handled all the type.
Okay.
Is it minimal? Is it stacked? Is it centered? Is it in serif or sans serif? Right? I want to see how they handled the secondary type as well, right?
Okay.
So then I'll talk about imagery. I'll research the imagery, pattern, whatnot, and then I'll go to color, and then I'll go to type. And I'll just mark things that way. And this is just how I do things. It doesn't mean you have to do it this way. But it's better to look at things when you're researching for ideas or trying to get inspiration when you bust the pieces apart. And you guys have probably heard me say this before. I'll do little side studies of things, especially with type. And then I'll go back to context like, this is interesting, this stack type, right? Because this is the brand mark, but this is the product, right? So that's interesting. I'll also notice that the brand mark is it's actually an emblem. It's contained in a shape. So I'll notice stuff like that. Here's the separate, where it's a type solution, all in general has no imagery. And it's kind of a 3-color system. And then it's kind of stickered onto a bag, craft bag. Okay, no visuals. Visuals, no visuals. So
what's clicking in the back of your head? This is working, this is not working, this is what I should do, this is not what I should do?
And if it's relevant, is it close to the price point I'm thinking, kind of a thing? If I know that I'm not doing vintage, this is not tagged.
Okay.
So I'm doing contemporary. This is tagged, kind of a thing. I'm looking for contemporary. I'm not looking for ultra simple, not tagged, kind of a thing.
So you're looking for specifically what you want to design.
What's in my head? If I have 2 or 3 directions, I usually do. I try to just go look for one at a time to see what's been done.
Okay.
And what not to do, maybe.
Got it.
And to see how people have handled it recently, right? A vintage setting with contemporary typefaces. That's a unique dichotomy and twist. A lot of times that kind of design works for me, depending on the context, right? This is another color grab I would see. Is it too bright? Do I want to be more subtle? That kind of a thing. Do I want any imagery at all? This often happens with packaging. Can we use it with no imagery and just use the type as image here? For this is perfect design for the purpose of this product, it's a crisis kit.
I love what Pete says. He says, with packaging, what Michael's talking about lends itself to being recognizable from a distance. Can you tell what you're looking at from 10 feet away in the store aisle?
It's the same drill as designing a poster. The 330 and 3 thing. You got to draw the viewer in from 300 feet. You got to make them step into the 30-foot range to read. And then they have to study it, what time and where, when they get 3 feet in front of the poster. Packaging is similar to that. You have to grab somebody from the end aisle in a store, let's say, and you have to get them concentrated in where that package is and amongst all the clutter, and then you got to make them pick it up and read it. So it's the same kind of drill, design-wise. It's a beautiful bottle.
Got it. Okay. So that's what you're analyzing in the document.
Yeah. So
there's
many things going in here, but the best way to explain it is I break it into design elements to study as a side note. Just type, just color, just form a bottle. What can be done? What can we make the bottle, or can it be different, or does it have to be standard? That kind of a thing. This is interesting. But yeah, but more often than not for me, no matter what I'm designing, I'm opting for more of the timeless classic approach personally. I'm not much of a cluttered designer like this. How to do this kind of work. First thing I would ask Gator to do is like, can we fucking simplify this thing or what? Kind of thing.
Well, they're going for a specific time.
No, and I know it's fine. It's all fine, And if they wanted to simplify and get, go to luxury market or something, then they can call me. But I do try to design to, if it's necessary, we have to do this. If there's a system that we have to do this more complex, it's not that doesn't mean I wouldn't do it. It's not often that I would or have. It's not often that I have. This is a beautiful package too, artistically. This is a great example of triangle composition. There. This is what I would show a student to get the eye to go in a triangular form and use this negative space and not put anything there. I want to know how hard fought this design agency fought the client to not put anything there, kind of a thing.
But when it's a triangle composition, that's successful.
It's really strong. Okay. Yeah, this is the kind of composition I love. That draws my eye to it versus centered with everything. I like the organic nature. I think that's a really strong package. Anyway, guys, yeah, that's about it, I think.
Yeah, so thank you so much for joining us, and I hope this helped in some way, shape, or form. I know it was a little misdirected. Look that way.
What do you mean misdirected? We're just looking at work.
Yeah, we're just looking at work.
There is now a direction.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hopefully that helped. And if you guys have any questions, let us know. Feel free to comment in the Facebook group or send me an email. And then we'll do this again with something else.
Yeah, we'll do a different kind of design book or whatever. Or make some, let us know your suggestions maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, maybe it's a logo book.
Yeah, that would be really good.
I have a good logo type book that we can use. Maybe we'll use that next time.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Cool.